We had to do a special episode for the Disney World 50th anniversary.
Yep.
We had to.
Yeah.
And what better way than to debate about what we deem as the best Disney World park?
Yes. So we have 6 options. There are 6 parks in Walt Disney World in Florida, and that's what we get to choose from. There's 2 water parks.
They still have both of them?
Yeah.
Huh,
Blizzard
interesting.
Beach was closed for construction the last time I was there. We have 6 parks to choose from. We're gonna rank our top 3. Go 3, 2, 1.
And remind you, we have not talked about we've not had any discussion about
Mm-mm.
this.
None.
No
And,
discussion.
in celebration, even though it's a Disneyland shirt, Daisy's in her little spirit jersey.
Daisy.
It's the same, it's like the right color scheme of Disney's 50th. It's like blue and iridescent. So she's here with us celebrating. Yeah.
I will say that was Typhoon Lagoon the other one that you were talking about?
Yep. Blizzard Beach and Typhoon
So
Lagoon.
Typhoon Lagoon is not reopened yet.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, look at baby. She looks so tired.
Yeah, she's tired.
Okay.
Is it gonna
Um,
reopen? Maybe we only have 5 options, but
well, let's stick with 5
yeah. The
because
water
I know
parks,
that
in my
Typhoon
opinion,
Lagoon
don't
ain't
even matter.
correct. Let's
But
just be serious. It's really between 4,
it's
you
really
know?
between 4, but you can't forget that they're there.
I'm also in honor of this episode, I'm wearing this sweatshirt, our Walt Disney World old vintage sweatshirt that
Our mom
Lindsay and
had.
I found in our basement that I magically slipped into my suitcase.
Lindsay found it in our basement. It has the matching child's one for when we were kids and our mom matched us, and Heather fucking snatched it. So,
Snooze lose, bitch.
I
Snooze, you
have the
lose.
Christmas
Blah,
one,
blah,
so
blah, blah, blah. All right.
all right, should I start?
I'm gonna have you start. So we're ranking, go 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
And I will say, and also in honor of the 50th celebration, we are also going to Disney World
We are.
in a couple weeks, and I'm so excited. I know we're still in a pandemic and we'll probably have to wear masks all day,
Oh,
but
but we have, like, all of our Christmas masks. We are Gucci.
yeah. So we grew up in Chicago, and I will say, even though I live in Los Angeles and I am a Disneyland Magic Key holder, Disney World still reigns supreme, and I'm always
It's
going to
the
be a Disney
best.
World girl.
There's just way more
There
in
really
Disney
is.
World. I mean, there's no denying that. There is.
But we're talking not our favorites. We're talking
The
best
best.
Disney World park. Best,
Okay.
best, best. Okay.
So, my number 3 is Animal Kingdom, purely for one fact and one fact only. Some of the rides that you need to ride when you go to Disney World reside in Animal Kingdom, including, where are my notes? Kilimanjaro Safari, Expedition Everest, Avatar Flight of Passage, Dinosaur, and Cali River Rapids.
Okay, I do
That is
not
1, 2,
agree.
3. That's 5 rides out of the 8 or 9 that are in the park. There are essentially no rides in this park, but they are must rides.
I don't think some of those are must rides. I don't think Safari
The safari is a must
the
ride.
Safari is super cool, but honestly, I think the last couple times I've gone, I have not gone on that, and I'm not sad
Probably
about it.
because the line's too long.
But that or the rapid ride was
I
like
love the
I feel
rapid
like
ride.
everybody knows that I'm a rapid ride hater by now
Yeah,
because
you
I got
are.
so much shit about the Grizzly river run that's in California Adventure. But like I don't call those must rides. I haven't been on Pandora, but in my opinion, I would think there's two
Flight of
must
Passage.
rides.
It's Flight of
And
Passage and Everest are the top 2
yes,
at Animal Kingdom, but
I don't think there's enough stuff to do all day in that park.
it's not an all-day park.
So then how
You
can
can
you rank
easily ride all of these rides in a day, be gone by 2 PM, get your day going, but I would be upset if I didn't ride, which I like. We usually don't ride Cali River Rapids,
No,
honestly,
but
because our mom doesn't like being wet.
whenever we're done with our number ones, you're gonna tell me what was your we're gonna figure out what your number 4 was and why Animal Kingdom was above it,
Okay.
because I'm very curious.
Yeah. I will say they are getting rid of like parts of Dino Land. So you know that
I'm not sad about that.
The Primal World,
Yeah.
that one is already being taken down. I'm curious to see how it's gonna be when we go. I didn't hate that ride, but it was like a short ride, just something to do. They really have space to do more things
Here's what they
in
need
Animal
to do
Kingdom.
in Animal Kingdom for me to love it more. Take out that whole dino park area.
They will. They
Let's
are.
make it Zootopia. Let's
I
ride.
honestly think that's what they're gonna do.
If they do that, I will easily rank that as
Also,
my top.
not to say something negative about Animal Kingdom, but they did get rid of the Finding Nemo show.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
It's not coming back.
No, they didn't. Wow.
I know. It was actually really good. If you've never done it, well, you can't do it now because it's gone. But it
I'm
was one of the best shows that Disney had.
I'm sure
One
there's
of
a
the best.
YouTube out there of that Nemo musical.
Yeah. It's really good.
Like,
Honestly, it was really good.
gosh.
It
I'm
was
so
it was
dipped.
in a perfect spot in the park too, like between Dinosaur and Expedition Everest. That if you needed like a break, you could
I
go
am
and do so.
shook. I am shook that it's not coming back.
It's the new Disney, man. Anyway, that was my number 3. That's really all I had to say about it, just because, like, yes, there isn't, like, a whole lot, but they are investing in Animal
My
Kingdom.
notes are so much more extensive than yours. If
Well,
this is a
just
taste of
wait.
what it's going to be.
Epcot and Animal Kingdom and those videos have way more notes than this.
Okay, so my number 3 is Epcot, but if I were to be honest with you, this is probably my favorite of all the Disney World parks and will be my favorite after the Guardians ride is done, but it's
I'm
not right
surprised it's
now,
that low.
and if we're ranking by the best, it's 3 of its current state in 2021, okay?
Okay, fine.
Because and this would easily be number 2 for me, but I actually went down the list and I just felt like my number 2 was a more complete park, like, everybody can do something where I feel like
Oh,
Epcot is the ultimate. I'm a teenager. No, I'm 21 years old. I can go on test track, but I can go around the countries. I have an appreciation for countries because maybe I've graduated college. I can go to Europe or I can go these other places and I can drink and I can have an appreciation for what the park is supposed to be. And I will say, like, I truly commend all the crazy renovations they've had, and I'm like super excited
they've
for.
been really investing in Epcot.
Well, because
Probably the most
honestly,
out of all the parks.
if they didn't open up the Ratatouille ride, like, if they didn't open up that ride, this probably wouldn't be number 3 for me. Honestly, it
Well,
was that close.
they are starting to add more relevant rides to the World Showcase, Frozen being one of them, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, whatever, being another one, and I bet there will be more.
So,
Um,
here's the one thing I also love about Epcot that also is a deciding factor for it being number 3. Like I said, this is best, this is not my favorite, it would be higher if it was my favorite, is they have the Food and Wine Festival and the Flower and Garden Festival every year. And when in California, here in Disneyland, the Food and Wine Festival is easily my favorite time of year to go.
it's so fun. The last time I was there, it was during that time. We got some cool drinks, we got some good food. It's really fun.
Yeah. I just love in this park the escapism. You go to the different countries and you feel like you're in that country. Like I
The last time we were there together, I was 20. I wasn't 21 yet. And
shit's gonna go down.
you were sneaking me drinks and mom was getting so mad.
I know.
At this rate, it was like August. I turned 21 in September. I was
No, it was
under
actually
60.
June
It
because
was
we
June.
watched the Stanley Cup
You're
final
right.
at the
Okay.
boardwalk.
90 days. I was going to be 21.
I know. It was so rude. I just for me, this is a more complete park now. It edged it literally by the difference of legitimately the Remy ride, honestly.
Okay,
Like,
well, give it a year and I
give it
bet you your opinions would change.
oh, I was literally going to say, give us a year. We've already been to the Disney World, and I've said on record, when the Guardians ride opens up, I'm literally hopping on a plane and I'm
Yeah.
figuring out how to get on that ride. And Epcot will be like Disney is going to have trouble finding ways to get young adults to Magic Kingdom and get young adults to Animal Kingdom because they're going to be too much into Epcot and to Hollywood Studios.
The Guardians ride was supposed to open this year.
It
If
was.
we were lucky
It
enough, it
was.
would have been opened
I don't
when
want to. I
we
want to think about it. My
yeah.
blood pressure is going to boil when I
They
think
haven't
about it.
announced when it's set to open though, so I'm curious if they're having issues.
A friend told me that that construction went very slow. I think what happened was they saw what can we open by October 1st, right? And the reality of it was the Remy Ratatouille ride.
They also opened some of the stands early, like There's some new food and some new drinks that were
Yeah,
coming out in the World Showcase that they launched earlier than expected, and that's probably why.
and I bet that the Guardians ride will open maybe midway or right after the New Year
Um,
or maybe right after spring break to kinda give it that 50th
I
final
if
push.
they open it before spring break, they would be fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's, like, May and I can just hop on a plane and be there for a day, and
Have you
then
read about the technology behind the Guardians ride?
I'm so excited.
So it's the first ride in Disney to have a reverse launch.
Yes. Oh, you're right, because nothing else reverse launches. Oh, I wish you would have told me that. That's awesome. It is the largest indoor roller coaster that Disney's ever built.
Really? Do you know if it's gonna go upside down? Because then, like, I can't ride
I
it.
do not believe it's gonna go upside down
Thank God.
from all the
I don't do
pods.
upside down rides,
Yeah,
which is why if you've heard before, I haven't been on, Rock and Roller Coaster.
and Incredicoaster, but I'm getting too old for that
Incredicoaster,
anyway.
meh. I don't do upside down, so but that's exciting. So
Yeah,
I was, like, convinced for a while that it was gonna be an upside down coaster.
yeah. So like I said, I love Epcot. I think it's
I
an
love
amazing
Epcot.
park. I would rather spend my day there going around the world. Yes, going on Test Track. Test Track is a favorite of Lindsay and mine, but is it the best? Probably not for
Okay,
everybody.
so this is a perfect segue to my number 2, which is
Epcot.
Epcot. So
Interesting.
I understand. I, would rather spend the day at Epcot. We can
Okay,
easily spend an entire day at Epcot over Animal Kingdom. That's why it's ranked above.
I thought Epcot was gonna be your 4 based on what
No. Um, there's only, again, like, 8 or 9 rides in the park. And, like, right now, like, as of right now, what most people do is you go in, you ride Test Track, you ride Soarin', and then you go to the World Showcase. In a year or 2, that's gonna completely change. They're putting, like, the most amount of money and investment in Epcot right now, and it's only gonna help.
yeah.
It's only gonna make it a better park. So right now there's just, like, the front half and then, like, the World Showcase, and they're, like, kind of changing it to be 4 parts. So it's gonna be World Discovery, which is, like, where Test Track is right now, World Celebration, which is, like, the entrance, and the
Yeah,
big thing. What the
and
hell's it called?
I do know that, like, in that front entrance area, they have more of the walls, like the Epcot walls that if you see on
Mhm,
Instagram, they have more of
mhm.
those, which, it attracts
They
people.
they redid that front part. There's now, like, a fountain and stuff, which we'll see when we go. So that's the second part. The third part is World Nature, which is, like, where Soren is and, like, Nemo. That's not gonna change much because that's pretty much nature focused right
Oh my
now.
gosh, I totally forgot that Soarin' was in that park.
Yeah. Again, a must ride. And then
Totally
there's the World
forgot.
Showcase. So that's what, like I said, like, right now, you pretty much just ride Soarin' and Test Track, and then you go do the World Showcase. Um,
Yeah.
Now there's Remy's, there's Frozen, there's also, like, that little ride in Mexico. What is
Um,
that ride called?
I don't know, but
Grand Fiesta Tour.
I will say this, I'm gonna give a shout out to Amanda Herman, who after listening to our episode about best Disney rides or favorite Disney rides, excuse me, she asked why the Frozen ride was not on my list. Like,
'Cause it's the same as the ride that was there
and in
before.
my opinion, there's no way in hell that ride would be on my favorite list.
No.
Um, but
Was on
I
uh,
commend that somebody likes it that much that they would love to spend time multiple times on that ride. But also those types of things, hearing that, I'm like, oh,
makes it
there
even
is
better.
other stuff for other people to do that they
Well, I
really
have
enjoy.
heard that, like, when Frozen opened, the line was, like, 4 hours long.
Yeah. You know
'Cause
what
it
though?
brings more kids to the World Showcase.
Here's my thing too, because I actually asked this in like a Facebook group. Because like obviously we're going, we haven't picked out all the places that we want to eat yet. And people in my Disney group were kind of also giving me some recommendations. And honestly, I don't love eating in the parks, but I love eating in Epcot.
See, we
Epcot,
really don't eat in the parks. When we go, it's
no.
like when we go, we just, like, kinda snack. We don't really eat in the parks.
Yeah, because honestly, the better food is in the resorts. But I think that Epcot poses like the interesting case of like I do want to try every food or like the foods and
Oh,
every drink
I, like,
in every country.
can't wait. If you don't like eating or drinking, then you could zip through the World Showcase so quickly. If you like to eat and you like to drink, you can spend hours
Oh,
going
you could
through
spend
the World
easily like 2
Showcase.
days at the back half of that park. I mean,
Yeah.
We didn't even make it all the way around last time I went.
No, like, cause our mom shoves us through, and they did the same thing when I went with, like, mom's family. They were rushing us.
You
It's
better
like,
hope that mom's not listening to this podcast.
mm, no, she probably will.
Alright.
Anyway, so what else? In terms of, like, updates coming to Epcot, again, a large investment. We've talked about the Guardians ride. I think that's gonna be a really big one. They're reimagining Spaceship Earth, so that's gonna be a different ride.
Oh,
They apparently are adding, like, in the nature section, like, a walk-through attraction that's Moana themed, but it's, like,
I
nature, it's called Journey of Water. It's gonna be a
yes.
walk-through attraction. Um, so probably a way to, like, burn some time. But what I thought was interesting was, like, if you've ever been to Epcot and you've stayed at night, you know how there's the lake in the
Oh, they
World
have the
Showcase?
best fireworks show.
Yeah, so they're coming out with a new show called
Ooh,
Harmonious, and it's the most money that they've not most money, the most parts that they've ever had in a nighttime spectacular, whatever.
oh my gosh, I
So,
can't
I
wait.
think it should be open when we go, um, so, yeah, I think that's gonna be really cool.
I love
In
that because
terms of, like, fireworks and water
yeah.
pieces, it's the biggest show that they've ever done in Epcot.
Not that I confuse, because I do not confuse parks, but there's oftentimes because I go to Disneyland so much that I'm
Yeah.
able to compare, kind of like gaining my amount of times I go to Disneyland versus Disney World. And like Disney, I mean, I think they probably took a page out of Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, who has an impeccable water show that goes up against the Ferris wheel, and they
I
do
have not seen that because
movies. We
'cause we're
have to do
usually
it.
gone by then.
We're usually gone by then. It's
Yeah,
truly like people come, they come, like I know Eric, he loves to see it just to go for Christmas time or when it changes, or like Oogie Boogie Bash, the
yeah.
Halloween thing, it changes too. Like people stay, like because
People
for
say,
us, people like us will
well,
go in the morning. We're not going to stay, but
no.
they're
The
adding
last
those
time
things.
yeah, the last time I went to Walt Disney World, Epcot, Heather wasn't with us, we did a dessert party, or were you with us for the dessert
I was
party?
there for the dessert party.
So, that was in Epcot, you got, like, champagne and desserts, and then you had a reserved area literally right next to the little lake to watch the nighttime show, which is really nice. It's kinda
Yeah.
cute. Like, different, it's different.
I am shocked. Okay, I'm even more intrigued what your number one's going to be.
Well,
And
just
I
like the last part on Epcot, which is something we need to do when we go, there is a 12-minute, like, show, called Walt Disney Imagineering Presents the Epcot Experience, and it's in the Odison Events Pavilion, and it pretty much shows you what's gonna be coming to Epcot in the next
Oh,
several
yeah.
years.
When I went to D23, the convention, they
Yeah,
had, which I think that's what they did, they took the stuff from D23 and they put it in Epcot.
yeah,
Um, it looks really cool.
yeah, so I think, like, Epcot's my number 2, it's just gonna get even better.
Yeah. So my number 2, like I said, not my favorite, I'm gonna pounce it because this is
It's
not
not
true,
our favorites, it's the best, yeah.
is Magic Kingdom. Because in my opinion, there is something to do for just about everybody except for really, really old people. Like, any
It's too much
kid's gonna
walking
have
for really, really old people.
yeah, any kid is going to have Magic Kingdom as their number 1, like, not mine. I think this park is losing a lot to the older demo, I think it's lost its appeal to the older demographic, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that still wanna go on the Jungle Cruise, the Thunder Mountain, the Splash Mountain, the Space Mountain. So in
Those
that
are the
retrospect, it is my number 2 because there is a ton of stuff to do, even if you're like, "I'm too cool for Magic Kingdom," like, there's still a lot of shit to do.
There's
Like
so much shit to do in Magic Kingdom, and, like, those rides you mentioned, there's so much that's in Magic that is quintessential Disney.
yeah. So, like, for me, at least Disneyland, which Disneyland, a lot of it is a spitting replica of
Of
Magic Kingdom,
Disney, yeah,
right?
Magic Kingdom.
In the last 10 years, Disney has done a great job trying to make them different. Disneyland now has Star Wars Galaxy's Edge because so that has the appeal of the older demographic, right? But for us, we're kind of left with take some pictures with the castle. Let's go on the OG rides. Let's go on. I'm excited to go on the Seven Dwarfs Mine
Mine
ride, which I know
Train,
is
yeah.
supposed to be, kind of one for the ages, right? For all over, but that's kind of it. I don't think they have good food at that park. Um, that may be just me, but as an
I feel
adult,
like Walt Disney Land is like a mini version of Walt Disney World. Like, the castle feels smaller, Space Mountain feels smaller.
It's
It all
older,
feels
you know?
it's all
It's
scaled.
it's all scaled, it's all older, it does have but the thing is Disneyland is trying really hard to keep the old demographic intact. And I'll say this, I honestly miss Mickey's Toontown Fair. I miss it
Really.
so
There
much.
ain't shit to do.
I know okay, listen, I know that's not, like, we are not the target demographic,
It's
but, like,
children.
how cool is it to go into Mickey's house and go into Minnie's house, like,
We have
I
some
still
really cool, like, photos as kids in those
yeah, and I
houses.
still loved that even just walking through, I'm like, yeah, like, as an adult too, it's cool to, like, go take pictures in front of Minnie's house, like but the thing
Doesn't
is
Land
now
still have Toontown?
so yeah, Disneyland
Yeah.
still has Toontown, it's super cool, Goofy's house is still there, like, it has a lot in my opinion, I think they lost a lot of Disney and they took that out of the park, and, like,
But
I
to your
would s
point of, like, diversifying the 2 parks, it makes sense to only have it in 1.
yeah, and to have this, like, circus area crap, like
Oh, I mean, that sucks. It's a trash area. I totally agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Magic Kingdom, very complete park, quintessential Disney. Is it the park I'm looking forward to the least?
Yes.
Yes.
As Heather changed our plans for Disney by not giving us a full day in Magic Kingdom.
That's not true. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, again, a perfect segue to my number 1.
You are you did not leave Hollywood Studios off this list.
I did. My number 1 is Magic Kingdom.
No, you fucking didn't.
It is quintessential
Okay,
Disney.
you're gonna say why you had it number one, but I want to know why you left Hollywood Studios off the
Yeah,
list.
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Um, I mean, you've said a lot of the points. It's good for literally all ages except for, like, um, the older crowd that, like, can't handle walking all the way, like, all around the park. Um, there's the most to physically do in Magic Kingdom. It has the most amount of rides, the most amount of shows, the most amount of characters. It has physically the most amount to do, like, the most amount of things to do in that park. I mean, it is. You
Okay,
can't
so
deny it. The other
no,
parks don't even compare in the
it's
amount of
listen,
rides.
it was my number 2 for a reason, but why did you leave Hollywood Studios completely off the top 3?
I think that park is a mess. They're starting to get it together.
You know what my number 1 is, right?
I know, but it's a mess. It's been the slowest moving integration to Hollywood
Listen,
Studios
the
ever.
last time that we went, that me and you went, the only rides to do were Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower of Terror,
And the Great
and
Movie Ride.
we rope dropped basically, and once we got there, the line for Toy Story Mania was 90 minutes at rope drop because the stupid magic hour. But there was truly nothing else to do there. We went on the movie ride that was in the Chinese theater,
Yep.
RIP. But that was it. And that was it the last time I went, but it's still my number 1.
Yeah, no, again, I think that's a park you can easily do, like, in the morning, and, like, I don't see, like, I don't think Rock and Roll I mean, I've never been on Rock and Roller Coaster. You can live without riding Tower of Terror. The only ride that, like, you need to do in that park is Toy Story Mania. I haven't
I will
even
say
heard good things about Slinky Dog Dash.
I will say that if you aren't a big roller coaster person, I could see the not as appeal. But let me tell you, when you go to Hollywood Studios and you see how truly incredible Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is, and I'm saying this as somebody that I do like Star Wars. I don't
That is
love
the
Star
only
Wars.
good thing about the park, though.
That's not true though. They're building up, they have sucked so much money into it that, in my opinion, it is the most different. It has the most to offer. It has something for every single age. And in my opinion, it has the most like A ticket attractions in one central place.
So I've done a lot of reading and pretty much, well, let me backtrack a little bit. They just got rid of the virtual queue in Walt Disney World. So what
Okay,
that means if
wait,
you've
wait, wait.
never been there is that
I do not want to go into a full discussion about this
no, I'm
because
just giving you my point of view at why it's not the best park. This is just part of it. So what I've been reading though is that between Star Wars Land and Slinky Dog Dash slash Toy Story Mania, everyone in the park is condensed in these two areas. Everyone. That's why, like, with the virtual queue, apparently the lines in Toy Story were an absolute fucking disaster. Hours, hours long waits, 2 and 3 hour waits for Slinky Dog Dash. And now that the virtual queue is gone for Star Wars, you know, I God can only imagine how long that fucking line is. But the
So
concentration of people are in those two parts of the park because that's all there is to do.
here's the thing is that's not the case. So now there is the rock so there's the possibility of Rock and Roller Coaster being
Being
revamped,
reimagined.
right?
Yeah.
That's an A-ticket attraction. That's Tower of Terror is still an A-ticket attraction. The Chinese Theater, now Mickey's Railway, like, that is an A-ticket attraction. And no
Yeah,
matter if
but
it's
is
not an
that one of the rides that you ride once and you're kinda good?
I don't know. We haven't been on it, so
We haven't been on it.
that's not fair for us to say, but, like, Mickey finally gets a ride. Like, it's
Yeah,
momentous
that's
in my
kinda true.
opinion. I
It's
I
cute.
think that is, like, super cool, and what I've read is that there's all these amazing, super cute Disney Easter eggs of, like, there's, like, 1928 on certain things or, like, 1901, which is Walt's birthday, or I read that on a newspaper, it's like Oswald wins, and, if you guys know really rich Disney history, like, Oswald was the original Mickey Mouse, and it does all these nods to Disney, and I think it fills the Disney bucket, but the thing is I think that between all the shows I haven't been to Toy Story Land, but, like, I can
See, but
imagine Toy Story Land, I heard it's not big, right?
well, that's also, like, I have a problem with Disney making these new lands and making them small as shit. Pandora is very small. Toy Story Land is probably even smaller than Pandora, and that's why they get so congested with people.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, I feel like for me, the reason why Hollywood Studios is number one is because it truly has something for everybody. I do not feel fulfilled when I go to Magic Kingdom. I can understand why people aren't fulfilled when they go to Epcot. And I can understand, personally, I'm not fulfilled either by um, Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
I love to
You
spend a
haven't
whole day.
been on Flight of Passage.
I love to spend a whole day at Epcot, right?
Yeah. Well,
But
that's no-brainer.
with Hollywood Studios right now, with everything they have to offer, like, if you were like, "I wanna plan a full day," like, you can go to Toy Story Land, take some pictures, go on that ride. Star Wars, I'm telling you, because you haven't been there, it takes a while just to get through some of the cool stuff, all the different shops, and the bar, like, Oga's Cantina is so cool. You may not like Star Wars, but it is so cool.
Yeah, no.
The ride
But I even feel like the shows in Hollywood don't compare to the shows in the other parks.
maybe not so, but, like, for me, you're talking about, like so Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is the largest single themed land in Disney Parks history with
Good.
14 acres
As
and
it
over
should be.
7,000 props.
As it should be.
Yeah. So I'm saying from experience of of the Galaxy's Edge here, you could just spend a couple hours in Galaxy's Edge by itself.
Yeah.
And I think that Disney's trying to really like they're trying to get that younger audience energized about Star Wars, you know? Like here at Disneyland, you can build your own saber, you can go to the bar, you have different experiences with different food types. There's two different rides. It's so big. On top of that, you're gonna tell me we could go on the Muppets ride or we could
Okay,
go into Mickey's like
like
there's
we've
a
ever gone on the Muppets ride.
yeah, we have. Mom loves that ride.
I feel like I've only been on it once. I can't
Oh,
even think
it's
of it in my brain right now. I know where it's at in the park, but
I
I
think
just
like
think that, like,
it was so
it's
different.
not the park as a whole is not a total package yet. Now that can
See,
change in a few years.
I
It's
think
all
it's
over the fucking
done.
place.
I think what your perception of it when we leave, I think is going to be different because, in my opinion, right now, because you have to take into account there is people that are coming, and that is that like it will take you all day to get through everything. Where the other parks you can master in like you can master in a 6 hour trip, you can master the
I mean,
majority
it's
of
fully
things in 4
dependent
hours.
on the crowd, on crowds, how
Yeah,
quickly
but
you can get through
honestly,
the
I just
parks.
think there is the most to do for every age. Because here's the thing is when we went, there was almost next to nothing there.
The only thing that's changed is Star Wars.
And the
I don't think
Mickey's
that's gonna bump it all the way
and the
up.
Mickey's Railway ride. But the thing is it didn't feel like it felt like, honestly, like a such an incomplete park the last time we went, and
Well,
you're talking about something that, like, I think they may be building one more ride, I think, but that
let me
may
just
be it.
say, like, Mickey and Minnie's Railway
Yeah,
didn't it's not a new ride, it replaced an old one. So it's not like it's adding anything physically to the park,
but it
is
is
my
in
point.
the sense of new.
It's
People
new,
will go
but
on the new
isn't
stuff
it the
because
same
it's new.
physical ride? They just changed the shit in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like so here's my thing is I like the uniqueness of a lot of the different things there. I think as someone who's a Disney fan, like, I don't really care to go to, like, the Crystal Palace at Magic Kingdom, or
I mean,
I don't.
no, we don't do those things anymore because
Yeah,
we've done
but
them.
what I'm saying is I think from an overall best perspective, like, there isn't a lot of great dining options in Magic Kingdom, same for Animal Kingdom, but I think Hollywood actually gives you the best sort of
Animal
overall.
Kingdom arguably has some of the best restaurants, we just don't eat in the
We just
parks.
don't eat there, right?
Yeah, we just don't eat
Totally.
there.
But also, like, it's a very hot
It's a hot park.
park. Like,
It's a swampy
you
park.
know, I love the ingenuity of some of, like, the Hollywood Derby or, like, the Sci-Fi Drive-In. Like, it may not have the best food, but they also Star Wars has very good food too. It's just different, and I love the ingenuity of some of that it has a little bit for everybody. It is so different, and I think for me, like, as a, 30-some-year-old, that's the park I'm looking forward to the most because it has
If
the most
you
to do.
remove Star Wars, where would it land? It probably wouldn't be on your list.
If you remove Star Wars from Hollywood Studios, it probably would not be on my list.
Yeah. That's why it's not on mine. One part of the park with 2 new rides does not make a park complete
I'm
and
telling
whole.
you, this is one of the best rides you'll ever go on, so it's
I'm
tough.
not I'm not denying that it's not gonna be amazing. I know it's gonna be amazing, but the park as a whole is just so discombobulated, in my opinion.
I don't think
It
they're
needs
done
a
with it.
complete refresh.
Here's the thing is they needed to get Star Wars done by a certain time period. Like,
Yeah.
I know that, so that's what they put their money in, right?
Yep.
Now they're racing to go finish Epcot and get Epcot back up to snuff, and then they're gonna come back and they're going to finish whatever they're doing on Hollywood Studios. But that park, I'm telling you, like, the people, they come every time I go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland is swarming with people.
No, I know,
It's not
but
obnoxiously crowded.
that's my whole point, though, is everyone's in Toy Story Land and Star Wars. The rest of the park blows.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I we'll see, but I think that there's a lot of other things that there is to offer. Like, I love the Indiana Jones thing. I actually like
Mhm.
that.
I liked the Finding Nemo show better than Indiana Jones.
Well, unfortunately, that's not gonna happen
I
again.
know.
So,
Are you surprised I didn't have Hollywood on my list?
I am.
I'm not
But
surprised you didn't have Animal
when
Kingdom.
I thought about it, because I'm taking the perspective of, like, I haven't been on Mickey and Minnie's. I haven't been to Toy Story Land, but I can appreciate and know how complete that it makes it.
Yeah.
And
I
that
don't
was
think
kind
it
of the
makes it complete.
perspective I took from it. I didn't even think but the thing is when you leave Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you're going to think, like, this is an incredibly immersive land.
Oh,
And
again, I'm not denying that by any means. I just don't think one part of the land makes the park complete. Like,
yeah,
Pandora doesn't make Animal Kingdom complete.
but
Other
Pandora, I
parts of
think actually
Animal Kingdom make it complete.
but I think Pandora and I mean, I think Pandora and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I think they're very hard to compare overall lands because they just dumped so much more money into Star
Oh, yeah,
Wars.
I mean, Pandora's really small. It is.
Star Wars is not. Like,
It's really small.
Avengers Campus, super
Small.
small. Super
Um,
small.
so obviously my honorable mention was Hollywood Studios, but I have, like, a kind of a fun fact. Um, I'll have so what ride in all of Walt Disney World do you think is the shortest?
I'm not sure which one.
The Oh, hold on. I was gonna The Barnstormer in Magic Kingdom. It is
Goofies?
1 yep, it's 1 minute and 3 seconds long.
You had to put that nugget in there.
Yeah, but then what ride do you think is the longest ride? I think it should be very easy.
Rise of the Resistance?
No. Think of, like, quintessential Disney that
Oh,
they will
is it just Magic Kingdom?
No, this is all of Walt Disney World. But, yes, it is in Magic
Carousel of
Kingdom.
Carousel of Progress.
21 minutes long.
I bet
21
you
minutes.
I bet you Rise of Resistance is just underneath that
It might be.
'cause it's like a 15 to 20-minute experience depending on if it breaks down.
So, you didn't have Animal Kingdom on your list. I think that might change when we go,
Yeah, but at the
but you
same
have
time,
Epcot 3rd. I don't think it rep I mean, I don't think it's above Epcot or Magic Kingdom.
I think for me, it was interesting that you said that, like, Safari and the Rapid Ride were must rides because I don't deem those as must rides. Like,
The
you had to
rapid
cure
ride is debatable,
the tree and
definitely.
the Bug's Life thing is cute. I personally don't even like the movie A Bug's Life,
Neither.
so I could care less about that. I like going to the shops, I like seeing the animals, but
I love going to the
honestly,
shops. They have great shops in Animal
they
Kingdom.
have great shops. Um, yeah, honestly, I would rather spend more time at the
Yeah.
hotels
You could see,
than
like, the characters in their cute little safari
I
outfits.
do love that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather spend more time at some of the hotels than I would Animal Kingdom.
See, I don't see the like, realistically, like, people don't go to Walt Disney World to spend time in the hotels. It's not what you're doing.
No, well,
It's not
yes
what
and
you're
no.
spending money to do.
Yes and no. I mean, they've sort of changed it, like, even in Disneyland, like, they've built up Trader Sam's to be now the Tangaroa Terrace, so now it's a it's a thing, and I
That's
think that
just a
there's
restaurant, though,
it's a restaurant and a bar. I think that is Disney World isn't going away anytime soon,
obviously.
right? Celebration of the
It's
50th.
just gonna get better.
It's just gonna get better, but I do think that they're gonna keep building these experiences just outside, right, in the hotels that because if I like going to see all the different hotels because 'cause they're so well done, and there
Do you
is
think, that they're gonna add another park anytime soon? They have the space. You know that they have more open land than currently constructed land?
I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. If anything, I do think that Disneyland would have something more.
But they don't have the space.
Just say that there were some lots that were bought and some things in the news within the past, let's say,
Okay.
12 consecutive months that I think it's gonna be interesting because not that it's a I think eventually when Universal is done with their expansive park, it will be interesting to compare the 2 because if you don't know, Universal is going to have a massive, massive new park built in Orlando that is like a 15-minute drive away from their other park in Orlando, but they're planning on having like a, monorail, whatever type
Some sort of transportation
setup.
system.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be massive. It's supposed to be super expansive, like super big. That's why they bought extra land. So, I think eventually it'll be like that because right now just Disney dominates. Disney World dominates down in that area.
If Universal didn't have Harry Potter, it would be a sad, sad park.
Absolute shit.
Sad, sad park.
Absolute shit. I really want them to build. I'm pretty sure they're going to be building the Super Mario Land um in Florida.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Or they are in Japan, or one's already open in Japan.
Yeah.
But
Um I think that was a good way to celebrate the 50th.
yeah, and after we go and refresh our brains, maybe we'll have another
I'm just
discussion.
curious. I think everyone's gonna need to hear Lindsay's honest thoughts of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge after it's done
Again, you
because
act
it
like
is
I'm
a game
saying it's
changer.
bad. I'm not.
No, 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 no. I'm not saying that you think it's bad, but the thing is, there's just nothing like seeing it. I can't describe it to you. The other more than you've already heard. So it's
Yeah,
more
no.
about
I've
experiencing
heard
it
a
and then
lot.
being like, okay, we've now been to the most updated versions of the parks.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Maybe we'll
see.
do an updated mini episode or something.
Mhm. We could do a little mini chat.
A little mini chat. Well, next
Mini
week I
chat.
know is going to be a very interesting and probably a stereotypical unpopular Disney opinion episode because it'll be worst Pixar movie.
Yeah, definitely the most
It'll be heated,
unpopular.
things will be said. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna throw down, and I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some unpopular opinions on it.
It's definitely gonna be unpopular.
All right, make sure to tune in next week. Remember, yeah, make sure to hit us up with any topics that you have or anything that you want, and of course, let us know what you think
Thoughts
would be.
are
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
If you agree with us, if you think you relate more to Heather's list or more to mine.
I mean, Animal Kingdom.
I love Animal Kingdom. Can't deny. It's a great park. That's a rope drop park.
I think all but Magic Kingdom.
Is a rope drop park. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Eh,
Mm,
it will be when Guardians is up.
yeah, you don't rope drop Epcot.
Yeah.
You don't need to rope drop
Yeah.
Epcot.
You close down.
Yes.
Like we're closing down this episode.